My name is Jyoti Singhvi, and I'm the founder and director of this program called Game Changers. And one more request I may have for you, and this you can just directly write to me in chat if you want it to be private. What brings you here? Because then I can tailor the conversation to your needs or to your child's need a little bit. So I'm just asking what brings you here, and you can just reply directly to me. That way, not everybody gets to see that because, that could be more personal and private. All right, so we'll talk about Game Changers here. What is Game Changers, the program? How does it help your child? And we'll talk about the format and logistics, etc. Sound like a plan? Okay. So what is Game Changers? The parents, here is my question. Do you want your child to become a confident and socially savvy leader and communicator? So what is Game Changers? Game Changers is not a class. So if you're hoping for it to be a class, it's not it. Sorry. It's way more than a class. It is an entire program. We call it a holistic transformational program. And the more you learn about it, you will see why this is more than a program. This is a program where we really, truly care about your child's development and them building these most essential skills that I have laid out here: confidence, self-esteem, resilience, leadership, public speaking, interpersonal communication, and social savvy. This is becoming more and more important. I'm hearing so many parents who want their children to be astute and to be eloquent in that, and to really understand what's happening around them, to make good, solid friendships, and to really be assertive in their communication. Do you want them to be effective writers? And do you want them to know storytelling? And storytelling is not like reading a book, storytelling for influencing, to really bring your messages across. Do you want them to have a growth mindset? Do you want them to be able to manage the high pressure and high stress that they live under? And do you want them to be on that journey of personal development? And we'll talk about what that means for personal development. There's just a lot of different things. These are the 6 areas. Within each area, there's a lot of different sub areas that we cover in this. Now, the way the program works, I will talk about that in a little bit. We kind of talked about this. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. So my name is Jyoti Singhvi. I have worked in the corporate sector, worked at IBM, KPMG, Cartier. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I do have 30 years of public speaking and leadership experience. I have studied at Harvard and MIT. I have 2 degrees from there. And I am just really passionate about education for kids and also for professionals. Surprisingly, the way this whole thing was born is, even though I'm on stages a lot, I was actually a very shy, quiet, timid, and a not so confident child for a large part of my childhood. It was in 4th grade that things started to change. But I had this long, arduous journey, and I don't want any of our children or your children to suffer through that. When I was in the corporate sector, or even as an entrepreneur, when I work with professionals a lot, you guys, well, let me not talk about you. People are really, really good at their skill, at their technicality, whatever their job function is. But then a lot of times we realize that to really get that promotion or to get those accolades or to get those rewards, we need to be leaders. We need to be strong communicators, strong presenters. And we also need to be really savvy interpersonal communicators and savvy with interpersonal dynamics. And that becomes harder and harder. And I was like, why don't we teach our children these skills at a very young age, so that it's literally like the back of their hands, so that it's literally second nature? And that's when I founded this. There's nothing like this program anywhere that I have seen, because I've poured in 30 plus years of research and work, and lessons from MIT and Harvard, and also lessons from the Eastern world, which are absolutely missing from our current corporate and Western culture here. So what are the benefits of this program? Your child will be able to speak in front of anyone confidently. Your child will speak more in class. He or she will help others. The teachers will know how smart you are because oftentimes your child has great ideas, but they just hold themselves back because of that fear, because of that nervousness. They will not be nervous or shy, or they will have, reduced amount of shyness. You can't completely change somebody's personality, but I have often seen that kids, they come out of this program and they're literally like butterflies, or they are like super duper confident when they went in there shy and not so confident. Now, you don't have to be a very quiet or introverted or shy child to be in this program. We get a mix of about 60-40. 60% of the kids are kind of shyish. Shyish, that's not a word, but oh well, we make words around here. And about 40% are pretty comfortable around people, but they want to really hone in their leadership skills, their communication skills, their critical thinking, their storytelling skills, and problem solving skills. We cover a lot of that. Your child will be able to share their thoughts and ideas with anyone confidently. Now, this is really important. They start standing up for themselves. They start being more assertive. We don't want our children to be bullied actively or passively. There's a lot of passive bullying that happens. So when they go through this program, they kind of learn the tools to stand up for themselves. People will understand you. You will be able to feel heard. You will not feel sad or lonely. This is a problem in this day and age. A lot of kids are left out, or I hear from a lot of parents, the child may not want to speak up so much, and then, or they may not have the right tools and techniques or the articulation to speak within groups or even groups of friends or groups of people that they don't know of, or people that they're not so comfortable with. And to strike a conversation with them or to be part of a group or play group with them, it just gets harder, and the child starts feeling lonely and they feel left out. And we don't want our children to do that because that's just not healthy mentally for them. And you will feel a sense of belonging. So then you can be a leader. You can be anything that you want to be. This is what our program is. Oftentimes when the kids graduate from the program, they do say, and these were the shy children, they'll tell their mom or dad, "Mommy, I can do anything." Like they just feel so empowered. They're feeling actively active, that they have these tools that they can start using right away. I can do anything. I can be anything. I can speak anywhere. I can speak to anyone. So I hear a lot of parents tell me that too. You will build great relationships and friendships. This is also, really important for a lot of children. I hear that as a concern from a lot of parents. You will become a better writer, creative, clear, organized, and engaging writer, because writing is very critical. I will say this, ChatGPT, while it's important and a lot of us are using it and our children are using it, we still need to know how to write and write well, because there's so many things that ChatGPT needs editing of or needs change of structure of. So we need to have our own writing acumen. And you will have a strong mindset, a growth-worthy mindset. You will become resilient. When I say you, that means your child. They become problem solvers. They build new skills and habits. And these, when I talk about these are either different projects that we do. So the way the learning happens, let me tell you a little bit. The learning happens in a project. It's highly immersive. It's introspective. It's engaging. Can everybody please mute themselves, because I hear a little bit. No, sorry. Can everybody mute themselves? Yeah, perfect. Thank you. So I'll just give you a couple of examples. So highly immersive, highly engaging, and they are interacting in every classroom multiple times and the beauty of this program is it's unlike a lot of activities, or unlike school, where your child kind of is part of this large group and sometimes maybe treated as a number. We treat your child just as an individual, a unique, special individual. While we have a very structured curriculum, we treat each person in a bespoke, customized way, or we work with them in a bespoke, customized way. So we literally hold their hand. meet them where they are and take them to where they need to be, because every child's needs are different. So being a problem solver, there's different things that we do around problem solving, building new skills and habits. There is an entire exercise that they work over a few weeks or a couple of weeks that teaches them and gives them pride in building new skills and habits. And this is such an important skill. It gives them a lot of confidence when they start doing that. Mindset is extremely important. Practically in every session, every class, we talk about mindset and how do we bolster their mindset and what kind of tools and techniques we give them about their mindset. And resilience is kind of part of that, because as they learn and they do different things with us, things will falter and things may not go the way they want to. There's nothing like failure. We don't believe in failure. It's pivoting. How do we learn from it, and how do we be resilient, and how do we keep moving forward? So these are some of the things that we've talked about. What they will do, so that's inside of the program when we meet them. There are about 3 to 5 speeches or articles or blogs that they will write for the writing skills during the course of the session. The session is 12 weeks long, about 3 months long. They will give about 3 to 5 speeches during the course of the session. And then there is a final speech, a final recital, which the parents will be invited to. There will be work that they do around leadership, which kind of starts culminating in their community, or that starts culminating in their school. So they start developing the plan for that leadership project. So I'm literally talking about all the different things that we do. This is not just a public speaking class. Public speaking is an important part of it, but this is literally an entire child development, holistic development program. I have said a lot of things. I'm going to just pause here and ask you, I still have a lot to cover, ask you if I can answer any questions. No questions? Let me just take a look at the chat box. Okay. Okay. No questions. All right. More is coming along. Okay. And then there are times when kids hold themselves back, right? So in front of strangers, et cetera. And we've talked about it. So again, it's not just public speaking. It is we teach them that, but we also teach them interpersonal communication. And if you have specific questions around that, we can talk about that later. How do you speak with adults? There are different exercises in how we teach them to speak with adults, et cetera. Yes. So we have 3. So we work with, we're very selective in who we accept in our program. But in terms of grade levels, we work with grades 1st all the way to 12th. The way we break it down is elementary school, middle school, and high school. So we do get a lot of high school kids. Sometimes we get college kids too, who do talk to us, who are like, oh my gosh, I wish I had this available to me when I was in high school, because now in college, I'm having a hard time. So yes, we work with different grades also. From 1st to 12th grade. All right. So today we also will, I'm very excited. I think this is my favorite part of the conversation today, is that we have some of our previous students and some of our previous parents who will be here to speak with you, and they will share their experiences. And I hope they are open to answering your questions also. So we will open up to that in a little bit. So it is a group session because it is leadership, communication skills, presentation skills, problem solving skills. It is a group session. And the beauty is that when your child is in this session, they get to meet kids from around the country. So their exposure is expanded. And we also get sometimes kids internationally too. So the classes will be on Zoom. And within the first year when we launched in about 2018, we started getting kids nationally and internationally. So we expanded it to Zoom right away. And yeah, it happened even way before COVID. We expanded, moved to Zoom like a couple years before COVID. Okay, there are some really great questions. Great. I'm going to answer these questions in a little bit. Yes, actually, so let me see if okay. Let me talk about some of the success stories and maybe so here, I'll tell you the questions. Is 3 months sufficient to see a big change in the child? Now, the big change depends on what your definition of change is and where your child is, right? So 3 months is very good time to start seeing a significant change. Will your child become from this to that? No, most likely not. There have been a couple of kids who did that, but a lot of children do take the program on an ongoing basis. So there's a first level, there's a second level, there's a third level. We also, when you graduate from this, there's a separate leadership program. We do cover leadership here, but then there's separate leadership program later on. There's an entrepreneurship program, and every program has 1, 2, and 3 levels. Okay, so let's see. Somebody just asked a really great question. And how would attending in grade 4 be helpful in college admissions? This is amazing. Thank you for asking this question. And what happens is in college admissions, they're not looking just at your SATs. They're not looking just at your grades. They're looking at the holistic person. They're looking at how much of a leader are they? They're looking at how well do they communicate? How much of an impact are you making? So what happens is, so I've been to college here, and then again, like I said, I've been to some, some of the top universities. What happens is a lot of us parents, I'm also a parent. I have a 7th grader and 11th grader. We get busy with music classes and math classes and English classes and sports and 4 sports and 3 sports and whatnot. And of course, there's after school activities. All of these are very important for our children, right? They're very, very important. But by the time the child comes in 6th grade, you already start seeing that they're very busy. Then by the time they're in 9th grade, they're very busy. And 10th grade, they're very busy. And they did not develop those communication skills, or they did not develop those leadership skills, or they did not develop the critical thinking or problem solving skills. And now it's a problem. It is really a problem because they get so busy. And now they don't know do I become a club president? Do I start a new something? Or how do I make an impact? Do I start a nonprofit? But how do I do it? There's a handful of kids, solid, good stories that you hear from those kids that they did it, but not everybody is in the same boat. So what we want to encourage you to take your child early in their lives in elementary school or middle school and get them to develop these skills, just like developing a muscle. And it will really help them. Then in college, there's so much that goes into college applications. I cannot go through everything right now, but relationships are really important. Who you build a relationship with, to get an internship or to do extensive team building projects. So your children are learning to do these things. You have to get these these high level referral letters or reference letters, recommendation letters from the teachers. So they have to learn to build those relationships. And if your child is shy and quiet and in their shell, they wouldn't know how to build that. So you're just leaving so much of that towards the end. And there's probably a lot more in that whole college application process. We do have an entire program for college application also. But this is a great entryway to get started, to really develop your child into becoming that leader, to becoming that articulate, eloquent, confident person. Now, confidence is one more thing. Now, confidence is not just about speaking to other people. Confidence is believing in yourself, right? Being able, I can do anything. I'm fantastic. Or if I can't do it right now, I can learn anything. Or if I failed at it, or if I'm at a difficult point at whatever activity I do, chess or violin or some sport, whatever I do, or math, right? I am resilient. I know I can learn and I can figure it out, and I will find the right resources, right? So they become go-getter. They believe in themselves. So that confidence is going to help them not only right now in school, but during the college application process, and then later on in college too. So I hope I answered your question to a certain degree. There's a lot that goes on. And if your kids are in elementary or in middle school, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you put your kids into this program right now, because later on, your children will have very, very limited time. We have one of my high school student here who did join our program earlier in her life, and hopefully she can speak to that later on. Okay. All right, thank you. Let's move on back to my presentation. There are some more questions which I will answer in a little bit. And I apologize. And I like to be very transparent. What's happening right now in my life is this. My son is at a chess tournament. I am literally huddled in this location where he's having a chess tournament, and I had to find a quiet space. So, and my, computer wasn't working. I couldn't get Wi-Fi, and I'm like running around. I'm just sharing this because I'm just like you guys, right? I understand how busy and how challenging our lives can become. So the reason why I want to share this with you is this, because I don't have my large screen and I'm having to like move screens around, and there's like so many little sticky notes on my computer right now, just like from Zoom. So, okay, sharing screen again. So I just want to highlight this. These are critical life skills, and our children are often left to sink or swim on their own with these critical life skills that they need to use daily. They literally do need to use them today, right now in school, as they prepare for the higher grades, as they prepare for college, and then as they prepare for the workforce. Again, I will reiterate this. You're probably, if your kids are younger, you're not thinking about college, but I urge you to start thinking about it because it's going to happen sooner than later. And these are the skills that will just really, really empower them to thrive right now and later on. One more thing I wanted to say. In this program, we have really poured in our heart and soul. Literally, I keep nothing from your kids. If there is anything that I wish I had known as a child, or I want to teach to my own children, or I have learned now as an adult, I will teach it to your child. And I will tell them this is a life lesson. Never forget it. And kids have brilliant memories. They keep things and they will pull them out when that thing is needed. Success stories. So this is one of my students. She was shy, but after the program, she launched her own podcast. This young lady has been written up in Forbes. She's been on TV, and she is in a top 20 university, doing really, really well. So this is a quiet and shy child. He's now speaking at webinars, giving talks in the community. He has become a climate change leader. So he was with me in middle school, and then in high school. He's in high school right now. He's working in collaboration with Columbia University. He's working in collaboration with the UN because sustainability and climate change is his passion. And now this program literally is a springboard for these children. They just blossom and grow and really, really, really reach their highest potential. Another student, my daughter, so this is mom is saying this, my daughter was quiet and not confident. She just got selected into a top magnet school. I think she was with me in 6th or 7th grade, and magnet school she went in 8th grade or 9th grade. So again, just college admissions, magnet school admissions, private school admissions, or even if your kids are in public schools are very competitive. So for your kids to thrive, you need to get them prepared. So because of the confidence and communication skills she learned in this course. So this kid also gave a TED Talk, and she's in a top university too now. So kids have grown, right? And they are taking the skills that they learned with us and just kind of building on them and doing amazing things. My sons were confident, but all over the place. Now they're more articulate and clear from this class. They learned to be better structured, better presentation, better messaging, better connection with the audience, better storytelling. They have more social savvy now because one of them was very, very, they were two boys. One of them was very, very extroverted, but then even being extroverted, you want to have that certain restraint and poise and sophistication. So that is what he really needed. And they got really better at creative writing and speaking, and generally speaking, just overall presence and confidence. By the way, I'll also say this is not true for these kids, but just because somebody is extroverted, that doesn't mean that they have confidence in every area of their lives, right? So again, I will separate the confidence in terms of interacting with people with the general confidence, self-confidence, self-esteem, self-worth that we all need to have to make progress in anything in our lives. Both my sons, so these are again, both the kids were in the program, really enjoyed this and became excellent communicators. My middle school son is now teaching a math camp. My quieter high school daughter effectively works with adults in corporate environments. She works with hospitals. She's launched her own club. She has launched another initiative. She's an amazing, amazing kid. Jyoti is very passionate about making the kids better. The course is so methodical. I recommend this class to all children. My teenage daughter aced her college interview and got selected into a top 10 university in the US. Woohoo! Thanks, Jyoti, for your training. Now, again, younger parents of younger kids, I don't want you to think that we're only talking about college. We're not. These skills are really needed for your kids to thrive now and then to continue to build on that that character and then just that profile for themselves, which they will continue to use for their college applications. A lot of these students came to me in elementary school, or they came to me in middle school, or sometimes in high school too. And then they continue with us. Oh my gosh. So this kid was super duper quiet. He was so quiet that he didn't even speak much in class, didn't speak at home, didn't want to speak to his brother. So now the mom is saying, my quiet son now speaks in class. His teachers can see how smart he is, because it's so frustrating for us parents when our kids don't share their smart ideas, they don't share their thoughts. And it's actually frustrating for the kids too. Mom, I know the answer, but I just couldn't speak in class, or I didn't want to, or I didn't feel comfortable. He hated writing. This kid hated writing, but now with this class, he's become a better writer too. He's also sharing his thoughts and feelings with us. And I know what he's going to. So I'm going to enroll him for another semester. Deepa was literally the mom. She was literally tooting the horn for us. She's like, if you're not in this class, you need to be in this class, right? Because when you see that it works, then you want other kids to be helped too. All right, I am going to pause here. Keep sending me your questions if you have any more questions, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the format. Yeah, great question here. Is there any initial evaluation for the kids you decide which level he should be started, or standard for everyone? So everyone gets started at this level, but what happens is our course is very, we like to measure our results. What gets measured grows. So there is actually tangible and visible changes and results that you see, but then it's also quantitative because we take a pre-parent survey. So before the kid starts our course or the program, there is a parent survey that goes, there is, which is confidential, do not share that with your child. And there's a child survey, the child does not share that with the parents. Then after a couple of classes, I will assess your child and I'll do a survey on them, right? And then at the end of the class, right around the time when they're doing the recital, then or post-recital, all three of us take surveys and we see how your child has grown. And again, like I said, not every child may need focus on every element. They all learn everything, but we work with them where they need the most help, or where, because every child is just so different, right? All right. Okay, so yes. So we're gonna get one of our lovely students in, Siona. She is, I know she's very busy, and she also is a little under the weather, but she was very kind to join us today. Siona, come on in. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm gonna pause, and we're gonna hear from our, students and our parents here. So where are you, Siona? Are you able to come on camera? Oh, there she is. Yay. Hey, Siona. It's so nice to see you.
Hi, same here.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling better. I had like a bit of a fever, but I think I'm getting better. I took yeah, I'm good.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it. Siona, do you still have a couple minutes? I just saw your note that you have to go soon.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, can you tell us a little bit about your experience in this program? I think you were with us for a couple of different semesters. And, when you started, what was going on? Why did you even join this program? And then did you see any benefits, anything when you graduated? And then how has it helped you during the course of the uh, of your journey? Siona is now in high school, and Siona and I still continue to work together. She joined me in, was it middle school?
Fifth, yeah, maybe fifth or sixth grade around then.
Right, right. And we continue to work with each, I continue to work with her and coach her beyond that too.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Siona. It's all you.
Yeah, so first off, I have nothing but good things to say about this program. When I first started, I was very like shy. I was very introverted. Very I was a little afraid to go for the opportunities that were presented for me, especially in terms of leadership. Um, However, I think that with the class, when I enrolled, I was in the beginning, I was uncertain because I was put into a new group of people. But I think what Jyoti Aunty did that was really helpful for me was that she made sure it was an environment that was not only supportive but very constructive. So after the way that she organized it, and I'm not sure if it has changed since my enrollment, but she asked us to choose a topic that we were really passionate about, and I believe I chose I was working with an organization in Africa and a country called Sudan about water insecurity and lack of access to water. And because I was passionate about that topic, I was really able to write about it, really able to speak about it. And then she asked us to prepare for that topic and deliver a speech to the class. And that was sort of the first time I really put myself out there, and it was a great opportunity for me to speak about something that I love to talk about and also engage in public speaking skills. Um, and I think that as I continued in the class, I became more and more comfortable and I started to see changes outside of the program as well. So, for example, I like in class, I start to speak more, I start to answer questions, I start to reach out to my teachers to meet whenever I was having trouble with something. And especially in high school, I'm a junior in high school, by the way. I still refer to the things that I learned in this program. So, for example, I started my own nonprofit 2 or 3 years ago, and that has required a lot of my time and leadership skills that Jyoti Aunty had helped me out with in my earlier years. And then I'm also a leader for several different clubs at my school. And I'm also a TED Talk speaker. I think Jyoti Aunty mentioned one of her other students is also a TED Talk speaker, but I'm preparing for that as well. Another thing, I'm a singer and I sang in front of my entire school in freshman year. I've been part of the musicals. I'm making my TED Talk in front of the entire school this year, and I feel comfortable because of the skills that I've learned in the program. And then throughout my high school, I've just developed those more. So, yeah, I mean, nothing but good things to say. Like, a very great experience for me overall.
Thank you, Siona. That was so helpful. What we will do is, Siona, if whenever you have to run, you probably have to run. And we do have Smita, who is a mom of two of her girls, and both her girls were in the program. We also have Jasmeet, and two of her kids were in the program. You guys will get to hear from her too. Hi, ladies. Because Siona has to go, does anybody have any burning questions for Siona because she is a student? Just if you can type it in the chat box, that would be great before she leaves. I'm not seeing any questions. Is anybody seeing any questions? Okay. Siona is gonna leave then because she has probably a lot of work, and I really appreciate her being here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Siona. This is really great. Appreciate it. Bye. All right. I know Smita is also running, and Jasmeet has been patiently waiting. Smita, how are you on time? Do you have to run? Oh, you're muted.
Hey, sorry about that. I'm good on time if Jasmeet wants to go
Okay,
first.
perfect. Just because she was here waiting too. Jasmeet, did you want to go first and tell about your experience here? And then audience, we will open it up. And if you have questions for Jasmeet or Smita, feel free to write your questions in the text box. Even if you want to write them privately directly to me, that's fine, and I can ask those questions. Just me, did you want to speak? Okay, there you are.
Uh,
Hey, nice to see you.
Hey, everyone. Yeah, happy to speak about this program. I have nothing but great things to say about this. So both my boys, they attended the program. One's a 10th grader now, one is a 12th grader. And I would say this is not just a class, like you said, Jyoti, earlier. You covered some very good points about this and the success stories you shared. I can totally attest to that because I think 2 or 3 students were in the same session as my boys. So for us, I mean, the way we saw it, it was a very comprehensive program, and you had carefully planned each and every session, because sometimes we just see public speaking as just one thing, but it's pretty nuanced with, like, a lot of different things like body language, posture, articulating your words and language and everything. So I think it really helped my boys, and it nurtured their growth and confidence. And I think they started to believe in their own potential and abilities after going through this program. And looking back, I think when we started with the program, in terms of situations, some of the things were carefully planned, but then there were some very happy outcomes that were accidental also. But in my boys' middle school years, one of the complaints we were routinely getting from some of the teachers was that they would not actively participate in team activities. And both my boys, they are totally different personalities. Older one's a bit extrovert. Younger one, I would not say introvert, but he's still a bit somewhat reserved. And he has, like, a close group of friends back then. But the older one, I think a lot of times you mentioned, like, this extrovertness. So he was having a bit of a, I would say, negative reception in terms of how he was perceived by others, because a lot of times teachers would shut him off, thinking that, like, he would take away the classroom time, just because of the image, I think, that he sort of created at that time. So with him, it was a different challenge. With the younger one, he was more in a shell, and we wanted him to open up more. But with the older one, it was more like, how he approached this personality, but he needed some coaching at that point. And both me and my husband, like, what we also saw through our own careers and how our career progression happened, we learned it the hard way, because it's usually not about, like, what you learn in college as your skill or what career you choose. It's over a period of time, your role becomes more about, like, just communicating with either different leaders, or anytime you have, like, you can be a great computer programmer, but, like, unless you have the ability to translate those ideas out there, like, a lot of those opportunities would not come your way. So we thought that we needed something, and we were glad that we came across this program, because it really gave us what we would, I would say it gave us way more than, like, what we were originally looking for. And how that translated into my boys' development and their academic journey was that slowly we started to see, like, progress. And when I signed them up, I remember, like, there was this initial displeasure that why do I need to do this class, or why you signed us up for this class. But then I think after the first session, they just started rolling, and they would actively look forward to the next session with you. So initially, I remember, like, I think it probably started with more class participation at the school level, and slowly they started to engage in different club activities, and later on it translated into more leadership kind of roles for my older one too. He now participates in Model UN and debates, and he's president and vice president in various clubs at high school. So he has to actively engage, or in, like, either team meetings, run them, or take on other responsibilities, give speeches, or I would say, like, he has the platform where he makes use of those opportunities now. And I think had he not gone through this program, he would have shied away from all these opportunities. And when we selected ACE, I think we looked at your curriculum. But once the kids started doing the program, we saw, like, how it was changing or shaping their personality slowly, gradually. So I think it not just set up a good foundation for their future, but for us, the biggest thing that we gained out of the program was, like, just building that confidence within our boys and their own abilities and the potential that they had, and how you mentored them and how you recognized their potential and how you gave them, like, a very safe, judgment-free kind of a zone, and how you always would focus on, like, just strengthening focus on the strengths, and then at the same time also coaching the boys to really, like, perform well on some of the other aspects where they needed some, like, touch up. So it really kind of held them off. I think once they took it off, they have now started to steer or drive their own journey. And from a time a couple of years ago when I had to really push them into doing something, signing up for something, doing some volunteer work, or be participating in, like, any extracurricular activities from that, they're now just steering their own academic journey, and they would just do things on their own. And I, like, I don't have to be a helicopter parent anymore. And I think this whole transformation was only possible because of the program.
Wow, thank you so much. Jaspreet, I wasn't even expecting so much, and I did not know all these backstories. Thank you. This just means so much to me, and this is exactly what the program is meant for. It's not just public speaking, not just communication, not just leadership, not just one thing or the other, right? It's like this whole culmination and this whole package, because your child is a holistic person, and that's what we want to develop for them. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So we're gonna, this was great. Have Smita speak to you guys. Thanks, Smita. Hi. Nice to see you. Smita is calling in from Phoenix, Arizona.
Yes.
Like I said, we do get kids from everywhere in the country and sometimes internationally. So, and she's, I mean, just like you guys, she's probably running from something else, picking up kids from another activity. Jasmeet is probably doing something similar too. So we're all real, right? We're not, this is not staged, we're all real. So Smita, tell us about your experience with this program.
Yeah, we participated in the program a few years ago, and and our experience was very similar to Jasmeet's. I have two girls, now a sophomore in high school and a seventh grader, and very different personalities. And so parenting children with two different personalities can be tough, and also as they get older, they respond to other people more than the parents. So when we joined the program, we just figured, okay, this could be a good experience, learn about public speaking. But it was, the amazing thing about it was that, Jyoti, to your credit, you can take a child with whatever personality they have and wherever they're at and meet them there. And not everyone has that skill. You could take an extroverted child who just might need some polishing, fine tuning, or a very, very shy child, and not say, this is where you need to be. You say, I'm going to meet you where you are, and let's see where you want to go, and let's go on this journey together. And that's a really special skill. And both of my girls, they don't agree on a ton of stuff, but they both loved the class. And we saw a big change in both of them. Our older one is a little more extroverted and outgoing, and our younger one is a little more reserved, I would say, more introverted. And it's all about just kind of working with their personalities. And, our older daughter is actually very young for her grade. And so we noticed that even though she was outgoing, she would hesitate a little bit about, maybe going out and doing stuff, speaking up. And we've noticed in the last few years just this incredible evolution. She started a nonprofit with two friends. The youngest in the group, and their group won a large grant, and she was the main speaker for the group and was on the local news. They've been interviewed by local, organizations, and incredible experience for her. And really, I can trace that all back to your class and how you made it exciting for them to, present. It was not like, oh, we have this class on Sunday. They were excited to prepare, their work for it, which was amazing for us as parents, because it wasn't like you have to do this. They were already, excited to participate. And I think, I think Jyoti's teaching style is very unique and special. It's not a conform to what the curriculum you're creating. It's really, even though it was a group session that our girls were in a group program, it was so individualized. It was essentially, private coaching, one-on-one, very one-on-one. And so we had an amazing experience, and really, really grateful for that, for the opportunity. And, even with our younger daughter, we've seen her evolve, from being pretty shy and reserved. She speaks, she's completely fine speaking at school, getting on stage, speaking up in front of the whole school when needed. She's actively seeking leadership roles, in her school as well, trying new activities. And another thing that was pretty special to us was for our younger one, when she did the program. I don't know if you remember, Jyoti, but you were talking about their superpowers. And actually, even just last week, our younger one was saying, oh, that's my superpower, and so I think giving, kind of working with the kids to kind of help them develop their, kind of their interests. And it was a great experience for them.
Thank you, Smita. That is really heartfelt, and I am so glad that the girls are truly, blossoming is not even the right word. They're just out, they're just reaching for the stars, and it's very heartwarming to hear all of that. And it was a delight working with both your girls. So thank you so much. And if one of, I know Smith and I have been talking in the background too. I think Ani is now at the next stage. She's older, so she might come back again. So sometimes this is what we, I think somebody asked us, how does a progression work, right? So a lot of times the kids will take multiple sessions because they will keep growing. And then we will pause them. The parents and I will talk. I'll pause them because I also want to respect the parents' time and their money, right? Go do other things, do things for another semester, another year, come back to us when the child is taking another set of bigger challenges. So that's what we're going to be doing with Ani soon. So why don't we take any audience questions here? If they have any questions for Mom, Smita, and just me, just put them here in the chat boxes. And we're very grateful that both these moms are here. They're both professionals, not just moms. So, but today they are wearing their mom hat with us. Any questions anybody has for them? I'm not seeing any questions here. Are you guys good? They'll ask away. I'm sure you have questions, concerns about the program, so ask away. No? Good. Should we let them go? Yeah? Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Jasmeet and Smita. You're welcome to hang around. You're welcome to go. I know you're very busy, so thank you so much again.
Bye. Of course. And if you get any questions, kind of after the fact, feel free to, happy to talk to anyone.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Of course.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Jyoti. Yeah,
Bye,
happy to answer any questions if anybody has them later.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you. Just send them to me and I can get the answers from them if you like. So yeah. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Parents, I can't say enough about this program. It's not about just selling, and what Jyoti just shared, all the core values of, yes, we all believe math, science, English. Those are all important aspects for the child's growth. But at the same time, over the 15 years, what I've been working with Kuman, and over, I've been hearing that what our kids lack, especially our kids lack in school. And I do see that often when kids are talking to me at Kuman and they don't want to share, sometimes it's very hard to pull the information and the knowledge from them. So it is a great opportunity and it's amazing. I just know Jyoti, and I truly hope that parents can take advantage of this program.
Yeah.
All righty, now coming back. Any questions you guys have? The workload, yes. Thank you for asking that question. So, am I pinned to you guys? I'm pinned, so I'm spotlighted. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Arvind, for being on camera. That makes chatting with everybody easier, because I know that, I know all of you are there, but when somebody's on camera, it makes it easy. And Arvind's boss is there too, right next to him. So we really appreciate that. Yes. So the way the work class works is like this. We meet, it's a 12-week long program. Sorry, I'm calling it a class. I hate calling it a class. It's a program. We meet once a week on usually Saturdays or Sundays based on your child's elementary, middle, or high school allocation. And we meet for 2 hours. Now, this is very important because we've been doing this for many years. We have figured out this optimal time frame, both in terms of the meeting for 2 hours and the length, where we can hold your child's attention, keep them engaged, keep them developing, and teach them the best possible and get them the best possible outcomes. Oftentimes, parents do worry about, oh my gosh, my child, they will not be engaged for 2 hours and screen time, etc., etc. Totally understand. Being engaged, that's my problem, not yours. Don't worry about it. When they're in there, there's games and fun things that they're doing. There's activities, there's role plays. We'll stand up and dance. We will do a music session. We break it up. But parents, while this is designed to be fun for your children, every single activity that we do, lack of a better word, activity, anything we do, is designed to help your child either learn a new skill or build a new muscle or practice something. They're just it's part of that whole journey. Okay. It's kind of like fun to the kid, right? Which it should be. Sometimes it could be silly too, but it's there to teach them. Now, talking about the workload. So practically every class will have, post-class, they will have homework, depending upon how busy the child is. So like we said, we make it bespoke. We will try to, now the person who asked this question, can you tell me what grade your child is? It's not crazy. It's probably a couple to 2 hours, perhaps. But let's say your child is very busy, right? What we'll do is we'll cater the workload or what they're doing for us, and we'll kind of align it to what they're already doing in school or outside of school. So let's say they're doing a science project. Maybe their next speech could be about the science project that they're working on because they're already, and then it helps them develop that presentation for the science class. Maybe it's a very busy week for them, and instead of doing something very lengthy, they'll do a shorter version. So let's say they have to do another project, leadership project, or another speech. Everybody else is giving a 5-minute speech, but I'll cut it short for them, maybe for 1 minute. But they're still learning everything. So don't worry. Yeah, so I understand why you're asking that question. Your child is in 10th, and I know a 10th grader is very, very busy. If you can, if you can just, maybe we can talk a little bit offline about, what you're looking for your child, because in high school, that's why I'm saying elementary and middle school parents, if you can put your child in this program now, it will be so much easier, because in high school, they're just like scrambling for time. So the mom who asked me that question about time and workload, we can work with your child and ease out the workload while we're still developing those skills for them. All right, did I answer all the questions about logistics? Right now, the high school kids meet on Saturdays, 5 to 7 p.m. EST, and middle school and elementary meet on Sundays, 5 to 7 p.m. EST. Please translate that to your own time zone because people are in different time zones. If your child is in middle school, they could probably fall into one or the other group. Like they could be part of the elementary or the high school group, depending upon where they are placed and how they are, personality wise. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna go back to my presentation and see what else needs to be covered. Okay. Keep sending your questions in. So we did the format, we talked about the format. I also want to say, normally we don't have a trial class, but you guys are in luck. We do have a trial class, which they can join tomorrow. It is 5 to 7 p.m. EST. I will warn you, it is more aligned for elementary and middle school tomorrow. But if you have a high schooler and if you just want them to get the feel, but maybe you'll turn them off if you send them to that class. If you have a high schooler, talk to me. There might be another one coming up soon. But for middle school and elementary school, you can do a trial class tomorrow. Send me a note and we can work that out. Okay, here's just a little thing that you can take home with it. This is a wallet size thing. Save. This is something all of you guys have to remember. Save in terms of any kind of communication you want to do. If you really want your message to come across, if you want to be a leader, if you want to be a presenter, if you want to influence parents or influence kids or anything, you want to be very conscious about the speed and pace. So save. A is your actions and your gestures. V is the volume and the pitch of your voice, and E is the expression. And the expression comes in 5 different ways, which we teach your kids all of that. Expression is not just facial expression, it comes in 5 different ways. So keep that with you. This is our little gift for you for today. This is how you get in touch with me. jyotisingvi@gmail.com. Feel free to text me or email me. The website is online. Let me just take you to the website a second.